Micah Hemp.
Absolutely.
This is a good transition to the next topic. I figured we'd get to this at some point. No Haskins slander. Too many drops, bad runs to blame him completely. Could have done better, no doubt. Let's not forget, Mason still can't score. Skull emoji. I think what he brings up is fair, but I think it's also fair to say Haskins, he just didn't play well.
He didn't play well.
He looked uncomfortable. Yeah. He was inaccurate.
Mm-hmm.
At least you saw the last drive them score, but we can all agree that was garbage time. It's better to score than to not.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't have a good game. He didn't have a good performance. It was the opposite of kind of what we expected, I think.
Yeah, for me.
Based off what he's been doing this whole preseason.
For me, that reverted back to what he was doing in Washington. The running and jumping, the inconsistent footwork. Remember we talked about that first game, and I was like, all right, was this just one of them? Not tripping on it, but I don't want it to come back. Yesterday, that reminded me of legit when we first signed him, and I went back and watched the tape, him versus Carolina. It was identical. A lot of, I'm going to run and jump throw. I'm going to be crazy with my feet. I'm not going to do the things that I can do, or if I am going to do it, it's going to be one time of me doing it and then 3 or 4 times me doing something just bonehead at quarterback. And that's what I felt like I was watching with him. It was very frustrating because he hadn't done that all preseason. In the games and practices, he looked more composed. He looked like a better player. He looked like a legit quarterback. But yesterday, that was not good at all, man. I was definitely frustrated with that one.
Yeah, the point of, I think what he's saying, can't blame him completely. Yeah, he was getting rushed. I think the line and spurts wasn't optimal.
Yeah.
There was that. But yeah, there was a drop or two. But the one on McLeod, it was kind of contested. He made a nice play scrambling around and kind of threw a bullet in there. I don't know if I'd even consider that a drop. I don't remember a clean drop. Do you?
No, for me,
I remember contested catches.
It was little things like for Ray. Okay,
you got to keep the feet in bounds too.
Well, yeah, obviously keeping the feet in bounds because that was an easy catch. The one with Ray where it was okay, was it a contested drop or was it a drop? The biggest thing is come back to the ball. Any receiver that knows when you're running a stop, you see a scramble drill, you come back to the quarterback. It makes it easier to throw. It makes it a higher percentage of a completion. If he steps into that, now that DB is having to break actually into his body. So if that DB gets there early, you throw the flag. Otherwise, he's already going to be stepping into an easier catch for him. That was the biggest thing. With Ray, he's another guy we got to talk about his performance as well, man. He was kind of up and down, man.
I felt the same way.
Like, Haskins Haskins' performance was very disappointing. But as Mike and him said, and as we both are saying right here, the people around him definitely didn't help him either, man. But it was just, it was a bad performance. I'm trying to think on offense outside of Dotson. Who would you say?
Offense.
Benny Snow had a couple of spurts. Like, he was running hard, but I just didn't feel like it was.
I would just say he was okay, though.
Yeah, it was just
and you can't have cool, okay right now at this stage in the game. Because, yeah, he did have a nice run or two, but there were other times where he just almost looked like Jalen Samuels.
Yeah.
Ordinary.
Yeah.
And you can't have
who else on offense? I like Claypool on the reverse. The little jet sweep. Come on, baby.
I was pissed he was even out there, to be honest with you. I'm like, why the hell is Claypool out here?
Especially when he got hit on the reverse. He got chopping his leg.
I was like, that could be an easy injury right there.
Yes.
He was out there for the whole first half.
He definitely was, bro.
I was pretty pissed. I don't know if it's just because he didn't play last week and all the other starters got to play and they wanted to get him some time before the regular season. At least we know he's good.
Coach Tomlin gonna play them young dudes, man.
Still, bro, I was not happy with seeing him out there. Man. I think the other thing with Haskins, though, is the offense felt really conservative. A lot of dink and dunk passes, a lot of runs that just weren't working.
I think they had to go that approach, though, when they knew it was Panthers starting unit versus our unit. And I mean, you saw in the first couple of plays, they were able to get in the back, they were able to have some pressure. So I think for Matt Canada, he just kind of knew ahead, all right, if this is happening where we can't protect to drop back, we got to resort to what they were doing last year, right? Quick release. You try to run the ball to stay on schedule, but it's a recipe for disaster, as we saw the last half of last season, right? When you have to go one-dimensional, quick hitting stuff, man. So
for Haskins, I think he's still on the roster.
Yeah.
But they should keep Mason QB2, or I think at least they're going to. There was nothing about his performance where you said, now I feel great about getting rid of Mason.
Yeah.
You can,
along with the fact that Dobbs,
I don't think there's any way they do it.
Along with the fact that do we know what is going on with Dobbs as well? Because we saw him get injured in the game, and obviously he didn't return. That's the other part. It's like, yeah, if he's hurt, obviously he was hurt enough where he couldn't return. Yeah, you're not going to move him. That's no different than why James Washington, for example, when Claypool got hurt initially, you don't move this guy because now he is hurt. So with that being the case, I think that also plays a factor in this, because with Dobbs, if it was significant enough for him not to come back out there, it's got to be pretty significant. That's my thing, right?
And they were probably just going to hand off too.
Right.
It's not like they were going to do anything crazy.
So that's my thing. I'm just like, yeah, I don't like that at all. So that's going to be the one where I'm just trying to see like how they handle that. Like, what is that injury? Because I think that does dictate a lot more in terms of the quarterback room too, man.
Even thinking this, I thought this a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. You know, with this weird COVID stuff, what if Ben somehow tests positive for COVID, has to miss a game? As we've seen, like he was close last year.
Man. Yeah.
I could see the Steelers wanting to roll with Mason into a game to just get a win over Haskins at this point after that performance. It goes back to one of those things.
Hey, man.
He played enough to where you saw tape where you get a little bit more concerned. If it would have stopped after the third preseason game, we'd been like,
it was different,
throwing Haskins as QB2. Why not?
Absolutely. And that's my thing, too. It's not even in the sense of changing on a person or stuff like that, but it's the purpose of football. We always say, whatever you just did, that is your living, breathing resume. It don't matter what you did 2 weeks ago. Antoine Brooks, prime example. Antoine Brooks looked great in minicamp, looked great the first couple weeks of training camp, looked great versus the Cowboys. After that, 3 weeks later, nothing. My man's gone. It don't matter what you've done in the past. So for Haskins, it's like, man, that what you did them first couple of games does not matter. Right now, this is who you are. So yeah, you put yourself in a position where you don't want to be in right now, but that was on you. You had the control of it.
Not enough to get cut, in my opinion. No way. Keep him on the roster. QB3, Mason QB2. That's it.
So where we at right now, I guess.
I think if anything, not to derail this too far, this should be evidence for the fake fans and the Ben haters to appreciate Ben a little bit more.
In what sense?
Just because people get riled up over different things, whether we signed Haskins or this whole offseason, trying to wash Ben away and say, oh, man, he doesn't have it anymore.
But whoa. You can't make that statement after 3 series from 7.
Huh?
You making that statement after 3 series from 7?
Well, not even that. I'm just saying the dude threw for 33 touchdowns last year, and people are trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, this have nothing to do with Ben, man.
No, it does. Just because everyone wanted him to leave, and they
because of how it ended.
Huh?
Because the 33 touchdowns was not an accumulation of his ending. That was accumulation of the whole season. We talked about same with Haskins, right? Those first 3 preseason games, he looked really good. This last one, he did not look good. So with 7, the 33 touchdowns is accumulation. It was the last 4 to 6 games that people was turning on him. That's that man. Come on, baby. Man.
Nah, because this kind of stuff's preseason. Yeah. Ben has done it through the regular season, year in and year out.
Past though,
huh?
It's past tense though.
I think even last year though, like you want to go
beginning portion.
You want to go recent sample size. Yeah. I thought he still did enough to show that he still has it, even in his last 2 games. You want to say good, bad, whatever. But all I want to say, I just think people should appreciate Ben more. We shouldn't be like pushing him to the side, because if we didn't have Ben, this is what we're dealing with going into this regular season, whether it's Mason or Haskins.
Fair enough, man.
That's all. That's all.
All right, the next thing we got to talk about, we already talked about Haskins, but for Haskins, do we think he did enough? Making the team, not making the team? Where you stand on him?
He didn't help his case for the QB2. I don't think he hurt himself for making the team, though. He's on the team.
Okay.
I think we'd be stupid to cut him.
Okay.
I really do.
I agree. I definitely did not like that performance at all. I mean, it was bad, bro. It was bad. Like, I hate to say it, but it was bad, bro. It was not good enough, man. Yeah, but I don't think that he played himself off of the team. He didn't go that route. And I mean, sometimes that somebody's misfortune is it helps you out. In terms of Dobbs going down, that at least gave him a chance to get back out there and put together a better drive. So at least it wasn't horrendous.
His stat line looks halfway decent.
You could walk out of there saying, okay, well, at least he did this. He rebounded. So that's why it's like we don't completely turn the page and throw him away, but it's just like, God, man, you gotta play better than that, man. Got to. All right.
Yeah, to just throw away his past preseason performances and what he's been doing in training camp over that game. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any way the Steelers do that.
Yeah.
What if Dobbs wasn't injured?
That's what I'm saying. If Dobbs wasn't injured,
I think Dobbs is off the team still. I don't think he did enough.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say in the sense of it would have made it where Haskins would be off the team, but I don't think that last little bit where at least we're kind of like, well, at least he did this. We wouldn't even be able to say that. Like, that changed my feelings a little bit for him last night.
Oh, really?
Like, if he never came back in, man, when he left and I saw Dobbs, I was like, yo, like, that was funky. That was just, like, barf. But then when he at least came back, I'm like, okay, I understand. All right, that gives me a little bit of, I feel a little bit better about you right now. But I think because my expectations were so high for him coming into this game. Like, you had Claypool out there.
You had James Washington.
Yeah, Washington out there.
Wasn't Frymouth out there for a little bit? I saw him out there.
Because I was thinking about, like, target-wise. Did James Washington maybe get one target?
Maybe.
I think maybe one target. Yeah, Benny Snell.
Claypool got one or two.
Yeah, for me, I just expected a lot more from him in that game, man. I thought that he would show up and really rise to the occasion, but it fell flat. Yeah. It fell flat, man.
I just didn't think there was anything really Dobbs was going to do.
Yeah. Unless
he had the best 2 quarters of his life where he throws for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. I just didn't think there was anything Dobbs was going to do.
He did that a couple of years ago. He did do that. He did have the game of his life. He balled out.
I still would stick with Haskins, though, for upside purposes. That's what I mean. I think Haskins just solidified himself at QB3. And then Dobbs' performance wasn't good enough. I think he's off the team. I don't know what that means for practice squad or not, though.
Manscaped, they get great respect. You know why they get great respect?
Why's that?
Because they're always perfect with the balls. You know that? They keep the ball smooth and flying the way they're supposed to fly, man. All right? And just like that quarterback you were speaking of, who is very surgical with that rocket of an arm, and he can make that thing go where it needs to go. He understands the importance of this Manscaped action as well, because they are the leaders in below the waistline grooming. And we know that below the waistline grooming is very, very, very important, Deke. No pun intended there. So, with that being said, though, can we talk about that performance package, the 4.0?
I think so.
Can we got a little time?
This is how they gained respect, right?
This is actually
coming up with this type of innovation.
I mean, technology, right? Lawnmower 4.0 used to have a light, right? Remember, that was the thing. Like, oh, can the light turn on and off, though? They improved it. The 4.0, the light goes on and off. How can you beat that? But then you also got, that crop, because everybody got a crop, right? Especially us, man. We got to have a little crop action. But you got crop reviver, crop refresher. Keep it smelling ooey gooey, nice and sweet for all occasions. And you can't forget that travel bag. But more importantly, what you cannot forget is the promo code, which is MOATS. MOATS. 20% off of your of your shipping, not even of your shipping. You get free shipping. 20% off of your purchase, though, which is more important because you got to make sure you purchase these items so you can get the free shipping. So make sure you do that. But use that promo code. And after that, man, your delicate twins and friends will be thanking you.